Some muscle cars look cool, and then there are others that make you just go, wow. And this 1970 Cuda AAR in B5 blue is a wow car. These AAR Cudas are some of my favorite muscle cars of all time, and for a whole bunch of different reasons. First of all, the E-body platform was all new for 1970, and it is one of my favorite shapes. It is such a cool looking body style. This new platform is longer and wider than the predecessor, and it has a nice long nose, short deck profile to it, so it really makes for a good balanced looking car. And the Cuda for 1970 came in a bunch of different trim levels, all the way up to the 426 Hemi Cuda. But this AAR is pretty unique. They only made about 2,760 or so versions of this. And the cool things about it is a street version of the Trans Am road race car that was required in order to compete legally in Trans Am. So the manufacturers all had to make at least 500 street versions of their Trans Am race cars, and the street version, obviously it's not a full-on factory race car because it was being sold to the general public, but it does have a lot of cool things on it that make it a really potent performer. The most notable is the 340 cubic inch V8 under the hood with the 3 two-barrel 6-pack induction system. This has a lot of carburetors for being a 340 cubic inch V8. The Trans Am race version was 305 cubic inches, and that was about the max that you could have legally in Trans Am. And the street version ended up being a 340. Behind the 340 is a 4-speed manual transmission, making this car a lot of fun on the street. You gotta be careful with these fiberglass hoods, and if you grab them in the corner, you won't crack them. When you reveal the 340 cubic inch 6-barrel V8, factory rated at 290 horsepower. Some people think they made more than that. Heavy duty bottom end, good strong components inside. A nice free revving high RPM motor, because after all this is kind of a road race car. Another neat thing is the surface on the hood and the front of the car is this black texture that they called organisol. The performance continued with special exhaust. This car has the trumpet side exhaust. And it's kind of interesting. The pipes go straight back and into a muffler, and then they kind of come forward and spit out the sides. Gives this car a very, very unique sound, and it's also interesting to see from the back that there are no exhaust tips coming out the back. It also has the staggered wheel sizes, and there's a whole bunch of different visual cues on this car, from the strobe stripe down the side, the fiberglass scooped hood, the ducktail spoiler on the back. All over this car are indicators that this is a high-performance version of a Cuda. Perhaps the most striking feature of this car is the color. The code is EB5, but the name is Blue Fire, which is really cool because it's a blue, but it's got some metallic in it so that when the light hits it in certain ways, the color, it's very vibrant. And the package continues to the inside of the car because this one also has an EB5 blue interior. And normally blue interiors don't look very cool, but I think on this car, it really rounds out the whole package, primarily because there are so many black elements on the outside of the car. The hood's blacked out, the strobe stripe is black, so there's a lot of contrast. If this was all blue with no black and a blue interior, that might be a little much. But I think in this case, it balances really nicely. Some of the more subtle design elements that are unique to the AAR Cuda include the elastomeric colored front bumper package, which is code A21. This car has the G36 dual racing mirrors, which are a really cool looking bullet mirror, and the Plymouth version has kind of a contour line halfway through it. It's very distinctive, but adds a racy touch to the car. This car has the J82 duckwing rear spoiler, which is different from some of the other cars because it's not a pedestal mount, but it just adds a little bit of aggressiveness to the back of the car to make it more distinct from a regular Cuda. Now, because these cars were pretty low production, it's unique to see them, and there are times when people have made tribute versions or clones or fake versions of AAR Cudas. And one of the ways to find out if you're looking at a legitimate, authentic AAR Cuda is to check the tags under the hood. There's a couple of tags that have numbers stamped in them, and one of the numbers is the build date. And these cars were built largely in the early part of 1970, and they were all grouped together. So if you find a build date that is later than end of April or so, chances are it's not a real AAR. This one was built on Tuesday, April 14th, 1970. If people want to know what the AAR stands for, they put a sticker right on the side of the car. It stands for All American Racers, which was the name of Dan Gurney's race shop. And Dan Gurney campaigned an AAR Cuda back in 1970. These weren't the fastest cars on the track, and they weren't the most successful, but today they're definitely one of the most popular versions of street-driven Trans Am cars ever made. We could stare at this B5 Blue all day long, and you can too if you go to our website at MuscleCarOfTheWeek.com. We've got a lot more photos of this car, and don't forget the Facebook page where you can interact with other muscle car fans, and of course subscribe to the YouTube channel, and you'll never miss an episode of Muscle Car of the Week.